Now, after seeing Apple's announcement of the new 15-inch MacBook Air with the M2 chip, I'm seriously wondering if my current MacBook Pro is going to be sticking around much longer. But does the new MacBook Air have enough goodies to warrant a step down from my 2-year-old MacBook Pro? Now, in today's Photography Talk episode, we're going to dive into details of what looks like an absolutely incredible laptop. And then we're going to have a peek at some other interesting news along the way as well. Now, as you're watching this video, if you feel that I earned it, sure would appreciate you crushing that like button and actually the subscribe button while you're at it. That said, let's shift gears and get on to this week's headlines. Now, you guys know I'm a landscape photographer, and on occasion, I enjoy shooting astrophotography, or shooting a little bit there. Well, Sigma has a new lens for all you astrophotographers to really get excited about. It is the 14mm 1.4, and it's the world's first sort of lens like this. As right now, it's only compatible with the Sony FE and Leica L mounts, though I suspect Sigma is going to push out additional mounts options in the near future as this lens gains popularity. And one thing I do want to point out as well, though the lens was really designed for astrophotography, I really see real estate photographers really resonating with this lens as well. For example, this lens, again, going back to the astrophotography side of it here, it has a manual focus function, a rear filter holder, and a removable Arca Swiss style tripod socket. Now, in addition to that, the lens has chromatic aberration controls, a lens heater retainer, and of course, you can't overlook that ultra-wide 14mm view that's going to allow you to capture absolutely gorgeous landscapes with the night sky above. Now, the lens does weigh just over 2 pounds and it's 4 inches by 5.9 inches, so it's a nice compact lens. It also features 11 rounded diaphragm blades, f/16 minimum aperture, and there are 19 elements in 15 groups. And of course, the 900-pound gorilla in the room here is, how much is this thing going to cost? So it's going to be rolling out at $15.99. So let's be real, it's not exactly a cheap lens, but I want to go categorizing this as an expensive lens. It will be available later on this month in the US, so if you do want this lens, you're not going to have to wait long. And what I will do is, if you want to pre-order one, be one of the first to get your hands on this lens, I will put a link in the description below. Let's do a quick poll. What do you guys hate most about recording videos? Guy number 1. That's a really good question. I'm gonna have to go all in with wind. Wind is my final answer. Oh yeah, that can be a problem. Guy number 2.
For me, 100%, I'm gonna have to go with photo bombers.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's hard to edit them out of the video footage, eh? Guy number 3.
Oh, let's see, is this thing on? Well, for me, I just don't like grapes. They just rub me the wrong way.
That doesn't even make any sense. Friend, if grapes are your biggest problem, you're doing it wrong. Now, if you ask me, the biggest problem with recording videos is having a bunch of cords that get in the way. I want to be wireless. I want to be free. Well, Comica has swooped in with the world's first wireless shotgun microphone, so you and I can shoot video with one less cord to worry about. Now, there are other mics that offer the ability to add wireless communication. However, Comica CVM VM30 is the first one that has a built-in 2.4 gigahertz wireless transmitter. Now, the supercardio condenser also works in a wired situation. Now, there's a button on the microphone that allows you to easily switch between the two. So that's nice versatility for the end user. Either way, you get 24-bit audio at 48 kilohertz sample rate for crystal clear audio sound. Now, the mic's design also helps reduce ambient noise, so you get clear audio as a result of this. Better still, you can use the mic with your smartphone or your camera, and it supports digital and analog output for additional versatility. Now, the mic offers 50 hours of recording when it's used in wired mode. In wireless mode, you're going to get nearly about 7 hours of recording time. Now, the mic is rechargeable with USB-C, and it can be charged at the same time that it's being used. Now, the mic is available now for $189, and as before, I'm going to put a link in the description if you want to pick up one. Now, as I teased in the introduction, the new 15-inch MacBook Air, this thing is pretty stinking hot. Now, as I'm sure you guys know, the MacBook Air used to top out at 13.6-inch screen, but those days are gone with the bigger, better 15-inch screen, more specifically a 15.3-inch liquid retina display. So as you can see in the product photos, the display has ultra-thin bezels. I mean, those suckers are just 5 millimeters thick, in case you were wondering. And you know what else is really thin? the whole laptop. Despite being a good bit bigger than the 13.6-inch model, the 15-inch MacBook Air manages to only be 11.5 millimeters thick. Now, to illustrate how thin that is, let's break out my trusty metric measuring tape. All right, so here we are right here. Here is right between my thumb. That is 11 millimeters. You know what? Actually, better yet. Okay, better example. This is my MacBook Pro here. This part right here, the bottom of it, is about 11 millimeters. The entire computer is that thick. That is stinking thin. Now, on top of that being amazingly thin, the 15-inch MacBook Air weighs just 3.3 pounds. And I know there are much lighter, smaller laptops out there, but 3.3 pounds isn't bad for a 15-inch rig. Now, of course, the new MacBook Air sports the same M2 chip that debuted in last year's model. Now, in case you've forgotten, the M2 chip offers enormous power and computing gains over its predecessor. It also helps give the MacBook Air model up to 18 hours of battery life, which is absolutely crazy. So the new MacBook Air has some very interesting features that makes me wonder if I should switch. You have a big screen, you have a powerful M2 chip, and of course you have the unmatched battery life. On top of that, the thing is ultra thin and lightweight, and it starts at only $1,300. All of things that someone that does frequent amount of travels can't help but to like. Now, if my MacBook Pro were on its last legs or I needed a new computer, friends, it's not a matter of if, might, or maybe, I would be taking a long, hard look at the new MacBook Air. But my MacBook Pro is still working like a champ, so for now, I'm gonna keep this thing around. But it should be on notice, one wrong move and it's toast. All right, friends, that is it for the news this week. As always, thanks for joining me on this episode, and so we'll see you next time. You get out there, stay healthy, and take your best shot.